There stands a man near the edge of time, who will exalt himself and defy the living God. He will persecute those who do not follow him. Who is this man? Can we know? Find out on the Revelation 13 podcast.
Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Welcome to the Revelation 13 podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Revelation 13 podcast. Who is the Antichrist? Well, that's a question that Christians have been asking since the writing of Revelation. And let me start by saying that I believe that many people throughout time have and can exhibit the traits of the Antichrist, because the spirit of Antichrist has been around at least as long as the time that John wrote about it.
Little children, it is the last time, as ye have heard. The Antichrist shall come. Even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. 1 John 2:18. Who is a liar but he that denieth that Jesus is the Christ? He is Antichrist that denieth the Father and the Son. 1 John 2:22. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that confesseth not Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God, and is the spirit of Antichrist, wherefore ye have heard that it should come, even now already is in the world. 1 John 4:1-3. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an Antichrist. 2 John 1:7.
These were the verses in the New Testament that directly use the name Antichrist, and I think they're the only places in the Bible that the name Antichrist is used. Antichrist can mean instead of Christ or opposed to Christ. And John wrote of the coming of the Antichrist and those throughout time who would deny the deity of Christ or would declare Jesus only a spirit and not a man, as the Gnostics would. Again, Antichrist could mean someone opposed or instead of. In other words, somebody claiming to be Christ or somebody against Christ. And I have a feeling that maybe the Antichrist might actually do both, work in both veins, but it could be one or the other. But those are the name Antichrist directly in the New Testament. Like I said, there's only, I think, 4 verses when he's mentioned, and it mentions the 2 types. The spirit of Antichrist, those who would deny that Jesus came in the flesh or that Jesus was only a spirit, as well as the Antichrist that would come. But there are other names throughout the Old and New Testament that he's identified by, and we'll discuss these now. And here are the names given to the Antichrist. The man of sin, son of perdition. This comes from 2 Thessalonians 2-3. The lawless one, also from 2 Thessalonians. The beast, that is from Revelation 11:7. The bloody and deceitful man, that comes from Psalms. The wicked one, also from Psalms. The man of the earth, also in Psalms. The mighty man in Psalms. The enemy in Psalms. The adversary in Psalms. Head over many countries in Psalms. The violent man from Psalms. The Assyrian from Isaiah chapter 10. The king of Babylon, also from Isaiah. The spoiler in Isaiah. The nail in Isaiah. The branch of the terrible ones, also in Isaiah. The profane and wicked prince of Israel in Ezekiel. The little horn in Daniel. The prince that shall come, also from Daniel. The vile person from Daniel. The willful king, also from Daniel. The worthless shepherd from Zechariah. And the angel of the bottomless pit, Revelation 9. These are some of the names given of the Antichrist. You get the name. The names tell you characteristics. They speak about different things that this person does in these verses. Of what some of the things they'll do or their characteristics. So we'll go over some of the characteristics of the Antichrist. Now, in going over these different characteristics, this is a list I got from the internet. Therefore, it has different opinions that some might think, different types of thinkology, if you might say. So some things, some people might agree on and not, is depending how it reflects the Antichrist's characteristics. But here they are. He comes from among 10 kings. And this, they think, a restored Roman Empire, but there are differences to that. He will subdue 3 kings. He's different from the other kings. He will rise from obscurity, little horn. He will speak boastfully. He will blaspheme God. He will oppose the saints and be successful for 3.5 years. He will try to change the calendar, or perhaps define a new era. That's in Daniel 7. Talks about changing times and dates. He will try to change the laws, perhaps to gain advantage. He will not be succeeded by another earthly ruler, but by Jesus Christ. He will confirm a covenant with many, and that's why a lot of people think that's the Jewish people. But it actually just says he will confirm a covenant with many. He will put an end to the Jewish sacrifice and offerings after 3.5 years, and will set up an abomination to God in the temple. And that is also, most pretty much agree with that. Some people don't believe that there will be a temple because it's kind of one of those things. There doesn't necessarily have to be a temple for them to have sacrifices, and so there's some wiggle room there. He will not answer to a higher earthly authority. He will do as he pleases. He will show no regard for the religion of his ancestors. He will not believe in any god at all except for himself. Again, that's an opinion. He will have no regard for the desire of women, which some people think that means he will be asexual or homosexual. I think there's other meanings that could pertain there also. He will claim to be greater than any god. He will claim to be God. He will only honor a god of the military, his focus and attention will be on his military. It says he will honor an alien god, which with other people it can mean, again, that's opinion. That's a more secular opinion there. The more out there theories would have different. An alien god maybe being actually alien, or a fallen being that comes down. His arrival in the world scene will be accompanied by miracles, signs, and wonders. Yes, that will be true. Signs and wonders follow him, which is probably why people will be deceived, is because they will see signs and wonders. Because we're entering a time and age where people follow the signs and wonders. It's almost less about truth but if you can produce signs and wonders, that's where people go. And Jesus says a wicked generation that asks for signs, and that's why, because I think you're not comes down to not being grounded. You're looking for the next big thing, or the next miracle or sign, and instead of doing what you should be doing, which is praying on your own and studying on your own and learning the word on your own, not trying to follow who seems to be